This is how to stop a squeaking floor, and it all starts with this tripod looking thing that I picked up on Amazon for $21.99. I'm Eddie Field with Field Guide DIY. Let's dive in. You see, we've all been there before. You get out of bed trying to be as quiet as possible so you don't disturb your sweetie or wake up the baby, and you hit that spot in the floor. And before you know it, the baby's crying, your sweetie's up, and the whole house is waking up, all because of a squeaking floor. So I picked up this kit on Amazon that includes the tripod looking thing, 50 screws, a bit, 2 joist finders, as well as a hardwood jig. I'll demonstrate how to do the hardwood repair in a minute. Now, what causes a squeaking floor is not the carpet. If you've got squeaking carpet, that's a bigger issue, and we're not going to address that in this video. Now, what causes the squeaking floor is the subfloor sheeting rubbing against the floor joist. The subfloor sheeting is 1 or 2 layers of plywood usually that hits the floor joist. The floor joist is the upright piece that runs underneath the subfloor. And a lot of times the builder just missed that floor joist in screwing down that subfloor, or it has come loose out over time, or they didn't put enough screws in that high traffic area. And as traffic goes over that area, it becomes loose and starts to rub. And that rubbing between the subfloor and the floor joist is what makes that vibration, and that's the sound of the squeaking floor. So what you want to do is reattach that subfloor to the joist in that spot to keep it from rubbing and to keep it from getting loose, to prevent that vibration from ever happening again. But you can't just start singing screws in the floor. That would be very unsightly. But the secret to this setup is this screw. That's right, it goes down into the wood only so far and then has a breakaway tip. And how far do you drive it in? Well, that's what the jig is for. You take the bit that they provided with it, the bit will not go in any further. Then when the screw is in so far, use the screw gripper to grab the head of the screw and twist it off. Now, step 1, we're going to find out where the squeak is. It's right about this area right here. So I'm going to put the tripod right there. Next, we want to see what direction the joists are going. I think they're going this way, but I'm fortunate in that I have an attic space right here that I can tell where the joists are going. Sure shooting, the joists are going this way. So I'm going to work my screws along this way in this joist and possibly even this joist if I heard it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a few screws to have as markers, and I'm going to try to identify the placement of those screws. It's right about there. I'm going to drive the probe into that area to see if I hit that joist. Nope. Put it in reverse. Nothing. That probe would back on out if we hit a joist. There's one right there. Now, having identified where the joist is and where the screw is going to go, I swap out the probe attachment and I put in my screw tip bit. We're going to sink it right there. And the tripod won't let it go any further than there. Now we take the screw gripper and we put it in that groove and we just break off the tip. And you see how it broke off. Now there's no head in the carpet and that spot is fixed. We've still got some other areas to fix. The drill is not included in the set. There's no joist there. We put our screw there to mark that we tested that area, and we move along. What I want to do is I want to put as much pressure on either side of that tripod as possible, on either side of that joist, so the subfloor really presses with the joist. and it won't go any further. Oh, that is much better. And just like that, we stopped the squeaking floor. But does it work on hardwood? I'm glad you asked. It even works on linoleum, LVP, and hardwood flooring, but instead of using the tripod, you use this gadget. This is for hardwood, this is for linoleum and LVP. In much the same way, you drive your screw in, but the collar will only let it go in so far, then you just rock it off. That leaves you with a very small hole in the flooring that you just get a putty stick or a wax crayon and match that color and cover it up. No one would know that you had a squeak there. And before you know it, the squeaking floor is gone. Now, if you need to figure out how to fix a leaking toilet, click the image on your screen now. I'll see you in the next video. And how far do you drive it in? That far.